It's about your former Labour colleagues. And apparently Angela Rayner, who I know you're good friends with, is repeatedly threatening to quit because she doesn't think that the government can meet its 1.5 million housing target.
I mean, I am friends with her as well, but I mean, I think she's brilliant, and she's got a big agenda. She's got to build houses, and yes, that is a very stretching target, 1.5 million.
Will you achieve it? I mean, otherwise it's another broken promise, isn't it? And you've accused the Conservatives of broken promises.
Well, I would eat my hat.
Right.
If Angela Rayner
we will get you a hat served on a silver platter.
Quit the cabinet. I think I'm a big fan of Angela Rayner. I think she's fantastic.
Tony Blair's late-night phone call to Angela Rayner just stopped her walking out on Keir Starmer completely. Think about that for a second. A former Prime Minister had to step in to prevent Labour's Deputy PM from quitting over an impossible housing target. What does it tell us when the architect of New Labour still wields this much power behind the scenes? Blair's intervention exposes the facade of unity Starmer's been desperate to maintain.
Not had a good record on that recently. But look, this government's got to build houses. I mean, there'll be so many of your viewers who are just trapped out of the dream of home ownership because we've been so useless as a country for years now at building houses and helping people onto the property. Yeah, of course. Well, they've got to achieve it. I mean, it's not me anymore.
I know it's not. I say by association, Jonathan, as you are still really a Labour man through and through, and who knows, you may stand again.
Let's see what happens there.
Revealing a party in crisis just months after taking office. The question isn't if Labour will implode, it's when. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. When Tony Blair picks up the phone, the Labour Party still listens, even 15 years after he left Downing Street. This extraordinary revelation about Blair's intervention to prevent Angela Rayner's resignation speaks volumes about the hidden power structures within Labour. The architect of New Labour apparently retains enough influence to directly shape cabinet-level decisions in Starmer's government, raising serious questions about who truly holds the reins of power.
House building and infrastructure, infrastructure building. What this government's got, which, you know, the Tories try to do some of this, but of course a lot of the Conservative MPs, it's a long-term problem. This government wants to fix it. It's going to get rid of quite a lot of the bureaucracy, the red tape around the planning rules, which has held back.
Blair's behind-the-scenes manoeuvre is particularly striking when contrasted with his public persona. While he's been openly supportive of Starmer in media appearances, praising his transformation of Labour, this private intervention tells a different story. Why would a former Prime Minister feel compelled to intercede in this specific dispute if there wasn't profound internal discord threatening the party's stability? The answer likely lies in Blair's understanding of Labour's delicate factional balance. For Blair, Rayner represents a crucial counterweight within the administration. A working-class voice with authentic credentials among Labour's traditional base, precisely where Starmer's polished lawyer image falls short. Blair recognises what Starmer seemingly doesn't, that a Labour government without Rayner's influence risks alienating core supporters who already harbour suspicions about Starmer's commitment to progressive values. This intervention fundamentally undermines Starmer's authority. The optics are devastating. A Prime Minister unable to manage tensions within his own cabinet without the rescue mission of his predecessor. It projects weakness at precisely the moment when Starmer needs to demonstrate command over his newly formed government. Blair's move isn't without historical precedent. During Labour's wilderness years following his departure, he repeatedly intervened at critical junctures, offering public guidance during leadership contests and private counsel during moments of party crisis. Each intervention reinforced his status as Labour's elder statesman, while subtly reminding the party of its dependence on his political instincts. The deeper concern for many Labour supporters is what this reveals about the current administration's autonomy. Is Starmer's government simply the latest vessel for Blairite influence? The shadow of new Labour figures, from Peter Mandelson to Alistair Campbell, looms large, suggesting a government potentially beholden to establishment forces rather than the transformative agenda promised to voters. Most intriguing is what Blair understands about the housing target at the centre of this dispute. His intervention suggests he recognises something Starmer doesn't. Perhaps that the ambitious 1.5 million homes target represents a political minefield that could destabilise the entire administration if mishandled. That political minefield is far more treacherous than most observers realise. Behind closed doors, senior Labour figures have already conceded the devastating truth. The 1.5 million homes target is undeliverable from the start. These aren't external critics, but voices from within Labour's own ranks, speaking candidly to the Mail on Sunday about a policy that appears designed to collapse under its own weight. The arithmetic simply doesn't add up. Britain faces critical shortages of construction materials, particularly bricks, alongside insufficient water infrastructure to support such massive development. These aren't minor obstacles, but fundamental barriers that make the target mathematically impossible rather than merely challenging. Most telling is the revelation that Rayner's own team recognised this trap some time ago, suggesting they understood the poisoned chalice being offered, even as they publicly embraced it. This impossible mission bears all the hallmarks of calculated political manoeuvring. The housing portfolio creates a perfect no-win scenario for Rayner. Fail to deliver, and she alone bears the public humiliation. Somehow succeed against impossible odds, and the credit inevitably flows to Starmer's leadership. The arrangement is particularly suspicious given Starmer's previous attempt to remove Rayner following the 2021 local elections, a manoeuvre that failed but exposed the underlying tension between these two power centres. Rayner represents something Starmer cannot easily replicate: authentic connection with Labour's working-class base. Her background and straightforward communication style make her simultaneously valuable to the party's electoral prospects and potentially threatening to Starmer's control. This dynamic creates a dangerous internal contradiction that the housing target appears perfectly designed to resolve. If Rayner fails to deliver on these 1.5 million homes, a virtual certainty given the material constraints, her political standing suffers irreparable damage. The working-class champion becomes just another politician breaking promises, neutralising her as both an asset and a threat. It's political assassination disguised as opportunity, with Starmer maintaining clean hands throughout the process. The construction sector has raised numerous warnings about workforce shortages and regulatory obstacles that make this target fantasy rather than ambition. Yet publicly, Rayner maintains there's no excuse for missing it, words that may eventually become the epitaph for her political career if this impossible mission proceeds as designed. Let's be crystal clear about what we're witnessing here. This isn't merely political theatre, it's a fundamental crisis threatening to collapse Labour's domestic agenda before it's properly begun. The potential failure to deliver 1.5 million homes would devastate not just Rayner's career, but Labour's credibility with voters who trusted their promises. Industry experts are already sounding alarm bells, citing material shortages and regulatory hurdles that make this target a fantasy rather than a policy. The true victims won't be Westminster politicians manoeuvring for position, but millions of Britons languishing in inadequate housing while watching another government fail to address their needs. A party willing to sacrifice its housing pledges for internal power games reveals its true priorities.